Joining us right now is former Health and Human Services Secretary under George W. Bush and Wisconsin Governor Tommy Thompson. Governor, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, Maria, it's always a pleasure to be on your program.
Oh.
And thanks for having me, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Well, we all need luck in this snowstorm, that's for sure. Yeah. But we wanted to get your assessment of the GOP plan, as well as the CBO's report, where they're talking about 24 million people being without insurance by 2026. What's your take on this?
Well, I think, you got to take a look at the overall direction that Paul Ryan and the Republicans are going. First off, Obamacare took about 1 year to get passed. It went through several iterations before it was finally passed. Several deals had to be made in order to get the necessary votes. This is like what the surrogate court judge in New York said: if you like good sausage, good laws, best not to watch it being manufactured or made. And this one is going to go through a lot of things. The CBO score, just like they did on Obamacare, they were completely off. Obamacare said you weren't going to have to change your plan. The plans were going to go down. Just the opposite took place. There's so many counties, so many areas in this country that don't have any competition whatsoever, and in some areas, no plans at all.
Yeah.
So what the Republicans are trying to do is set up competition, as President Trump just said, and as everybody knows, it's going to be an area where the consumers are going to have a lot more voice, a lot more decision. And I would say to the people that are looking at the CBO score, don't look at it now. Look at it when the bill is finally passed.
All right, so you think it'll
have
have
a lot of, are going to take place.
A lot of different reiterations, and before it's actually the plan. You think it'll be marked up quite a bit?
Oh, absolutely. Just this week in the budget meeting, there's going to be a lot of changes. And when it gets passed in the House, gets over the Senate, there's going to be a lot of ways to change it. And that 14 million figure of people that are not going to have insurance is going to be completely less, and it'll probably be an area that there's going to be more people that will be covered in the long run.
Well, it's also about choice, right, Lee Carter? I mean, the people might not be covered because they chose not to be covered. Here's Lee Carter.
That's right. I think choice is one of the most important things that people are going to get out of this new plan. But what I wanted, everybody's talking about what we're not going to get now. We're talking about who's not going to be covered, what we're losing. What I want to know is, what do you think the most important components of this proposal are that we are going to get?
Well, I think basically the fact that you're going to have individual choice, you're going to be able to pick the plan that you want. And what it's also going to do is open up the insurance market. Insurance companies are going to be able to come in nationally and be able to offer a lot cheaper plans, a lot more plans, and you're going to be able to decide as a consumer, as an individual, what is the best plan for me? Do I need all this coverage that Obamacare says I have to have? Maybe I don't. And therefore, I can have a slimmed-down package that just takes care of me and my family, and that's going to be less costly, and there's going to be more competition, which is going to help the consumer.
Governor, you and the President have talked about a more competitive market and more choice. Can you be specific here in explaining to our viewers what is it in this Paul Ryan plan that makes the market more competitive? What are the details that will bring more choice and more competition into the insurance market?
This one is going to allow, first off, individuals to have more choice in the long run. But it's also, you got to also wait for the total package. This is one of three areas, three-legged stool that I look at. First one, this one has got to be held in the reconciliation. So there's a limitation as to what Paul Ryan and the Republicans can accomplish with this first bill. The second one is Tom Price as Secretary. He's got awesome powers that's going to be able to change a lot of this and make the laws and make the rules a lot more competitive. And the third one is when the House and the Senate come together and pass the third bill, which does not have to be restricted by reconciliation, the Byrd rule. You're going to have a lot more competition put in, be able to pay, be able to buy insurance across state lines, be able to have a different kind of package, be able to have you be able to decide with the insurance company what is the best package for you. That's the nirvana. That's where Paul Ryan and the Republicans want to get to.
Governor, a lot is being made about how many people are going to fall off of Medicaid as a result of some of these cuts. But isn't it actually the point that you want to create a healthcare system where you have fewer people depending on government-run health insurance? I mean, isn't that one of the features of this program?
Absolutely. But everybody also wants to have a safety net. And I've talked to Speaker Ryan, I've talked to President Trump, and everybody wants to have a very secure safety net so people do have access and also have the opportunity to be able to have health insurance. And this is going to take place. It's not going to all be taken care of with this first bill. There's going to be this bill, the rules, and the second bill. A three-legged stool is going to take place, and you will find at the end of the day more competition, more insurance companies coming back in the market, less premiums, and more opportunities to buy insurance. And also, in those areas where you'd have to have the government, Medicaid is going to play a very vital role, but the states are going to set it up, not the federal government, and that's the big difference.
Yeah, but some people might argue that, you know, given that it allows more people into the Medicaid program, it's more of a government giveaway.
There's no question that you can make that argument, but it's also got a cap on it, and there's never been a cap on Medicaid before. And so all of this goes into play. You got to wait till the final thing, and I go back to what the surrogate court said. If you like good sausage and good laws, best not to make an early watch. Be able to wait at the end when it's all said and done. There's a lot of iterations, just like the Obamacare. It took over a year before that was finally passed. And if you remember correctly, it had, when it was finally passed, they had to come back with a cleanup bill in order to make it operational. So there's a lot of changes going to take place.
Yeah, you make a lot of really important points, Governor. Thanks so much for weighing in. We appreciate your time today.
It was my pleasure, and thank you, Maria.
We'll see you soon. Governor Tommy Thompson joining us there.